Tariq Bhutta Sahab, my worthy teacher, and along with that Professor Sajid Maqbool Sahab, जिनकी तोफ़ैल हम जो भी आज हैं Professor Jamal Raza, my dear friend from Karachi, President Pakistan Pediatric Association, Professor Masood Sadiq, of course, I'm very proud teacher of Masood. Dr. Naeem Zafar, again, he worked with me in Mayo, and very fond memories with him. Dr. Nasir Rana, Secretary General. शिफा मेरे हाथ में नहीं है, शिफा अल्लाह ताला देते हैं, वो जिसको भी दे दें, जिस दवाई में शिफा डाल दें डल जाता है, जिसके हाथ में दे दें वो भी हो जाता है शिफा, तो टोटली मिन जानिब अल्लाह है. आई स्ट्रांगली बिलीव. प्रोफेसर तफ़ैल साहब, तफ़ैल महमूद साहब, चेयरमैन चाइल्ड राइट, मेरे बहुत सारे दोस्त बैठे हैं, क्लास फेलोज़ बैठे हैं, प्रोफेसर ताहिर मसूद बैठे हैं जिनसे मेरा बहुत ज़्यादा प्यार है, विकी बैठे हैं, और मैडम शाजिया एंड सो मैनी. वी आर पाकिस्तान में काम करने का मैंने कई मुल्कों में काम किया है, लेकिन पाकिस्तान जैसा मुल्क कुछ भी नहीं है. Because we invest in relationship, we invest our time, efforts, and we are like one big family. We may not meet for years, but because we are committed elsewhere, but whenever we meet, we just start our relationship from where we have left. In Pakistan, we try not to have any ex-friends, but only old friends. So that's important thing is that in our society, which is very primitive, we do need each other at all times. And we must never underestimate the importance of who may appear unimportant to others, because with time, the important people become more important or less important, and this importance is a dynamic thing. So we need to be. So I'm very grateful to Pakistan Pediatric Association for the opportunity, especially Masood Sadiq for asking me to come over, and also the Child Rights Foundation. I think it should be a foundation. It should not just be a part of PPA, because I feel this is such a huge subject with huge importance that if we do not give rights to our children, then who are the future of Pakistan, future of world, then God help our countries. So this is a very major issue and needs a very serious attention and also action. A country which is very, very young, more than 40% of the pediatric population, which is going to further increase because our birth rate is much more than any other country. We will be the third largest country in the world in year 2048. Of course, India will be most populous than China and then Pakistan. And we will have more children living in this region than the whole world as compared to whole world, which highlights the importance of investing in pediatrics. And I'm so happy that we ventured into something which was criticized heavily, and I myself thought it may not be sustainable, and that was bringing the first child health university of the world. This has not been practiced anywhere, and I think the credit goes to the team led so ably by Masood Sadiq for convincing everybody, me as a Vice Chancellor of University of Health Sciences at that time, for NOC, other things, and now it is a success story. This may be the first child health university, but I assure you it is not the last one. I think every country is going to follow you, because it's just the population, and also I think there are so many things which Child Health University can do, which the other universities will shy away from, especially in a country with staggering infant mortality rate, whether we call it Millennium Development Goal and fail to contain it, or whether now we call it Sustainable Development Goal, and still fail to contain this staggering number of infant mortality rate, whether they die of diarrhea or respiratory diseases or other things. So we do need loads of evidence-based approaches, but evidence will come from research. Unfortunately, in Pakistan, we have very little research in the pediatrics. Overall, there is acute dearth of medical research, but much more so in the pediatrics. We only cut and paste guidelines of West, which may not be applicable or which may not be appropriate for our populations, because we are a very different population. So I think at any university, the main purpose of a university is to create that knowledge, not just to impart education or take exams or to run hospitals. I think the creation of knowledge is badly needed in this specialty, overall also, but in this specialty. We are still struggling very badly for exclusive breastfeeding. Tahir Masood just very elegantly talked about the malnutrition, but I think one major intervention will be to promote exclusive breastfeeding. With children, we have two extremes. We have undernourished and overnourished. I did a study which was published where from my alma mater, HSN College, I compared class 9 students with Mazangadda High School. So both social classes. And believe me, 48% of the children of both populations were overweight or obese. So we are looking at, we are sitting at a crossroad of NCDs and communicable diseases. Still we are struggling with communicable diseases like tuberculosis, meningitis, malaria, typhoid, dengue, and so on. And on top of that, we have an onslaught of NCDs. In my own study, that at the age of 49, every second person is hypertensive. We already know that we are called, rightly so, diabetes capital of the world. Me and Javed, we are doing a study with Exeter University, and we think that type 2 diabetes is fairly common in pediatric population, or Moody's majority onset diabetes of the young. I think the reason, if we have to address our NCD epidemic, we must correct the antenatal care, because the seeds of NCDs are sown in the mother's womb with poor antenatal care. Another study that I published in PLOS 1, Punjab boasting to be the best healthcare system, the skilled birth attendance is available only to less than 23% of the deliveries. So no doubt the NCDs we are seeing at a very young age, including the pediatric age. So another, I think, very important factor that we need to fix is the genetic diseases. I'm very happy to be part of my group which is working on mental retardation, hearing impairment, visual impairment, Alport syndrome study group. Pakistan for research in genetic diseases, unfortunately, is heavens. We have mapped out more than 9,000 families across Balochistan, Sindh, and we have a mobile lab which goes. We recently in Lancet, we published 24 new mutations which were not part of screening panel of any university abroad, be it John Hopkins or whatever, which now is part of it, because this was a breakthrough research, because this research changed the way we practice, because we were missing onto some genetic abnormalities or mutations which were not being picked up as standard tools, and still we were getting mentally retarded children. So these were 21 new mutations that are there. And in Pakistan, very little work has been done on the prevention side. We are talking of prevention side, which is the theme of this conference is prevention. But for any pediatric prevention, you need to address the genetics, because you need to fix thalassemia. Look, Pakistan is, you know, unfortunately, one of those countries where thalassemia is increasing. People in Turkey, Greece, they have successfully eradicated it. Now our government, this was my dream, and I hope and pray Almighty Allah bless me wisdom and the cabinet that wisdom, because we have agreed in cabinet on my proposal that we are going to bring school screening. School screening will address the thalassemia, because Sindh, Jamal knows it, that they brought the premarital screening and they miserably failed. Because our experience of premarital screening is when you go to screen at the time of marriage, there is a lot of pressure on the parents for marrying their daughter. They are not interested. They're just saying you are here to stigmatize or stop the marriage, so please go away. So we thought we'll do it at school level. So not only for thalassemia, but also hepatitis. We are the one country again where the hepatitis is so prevalent, B and C, and also the blood sugars at that level. So the legislation, our problem is that we are caretaker. So we don't have assembly, so we cannot make new laws. So whatever we are doing it temporarily through ordinance by the governor. So this is, and just now Masood Sadiq said there should be one hospital in every district. I agree with him. But again, we cannot bring that policy. The elected government, this is the prerogative of elected government. What we are doing is trying desperately to improve our existing hospitals. That's what we can do, expand them a little bit. Like Children's Hospital, he knows, we are expanding enormously. We are investing 4 billion rupees on Children's Hospital. We obviously, this is already the world's largest children's hospital, Lahore Children's Hospital, with 1,280 beds, but with at any given time 4,000 children being treated there. So we are treating 2 children or 3 children on one cot or one bed. So that is why I agree, but this, unfortunately, this is not our prerogative. So I think on the child rights side, at the end, I'll say in a country where there are so many Rizwanas, which you must have, media, which you must have heard, and so many Aymans, at the same time, 1 week apart, we got these 2 most tragic cases in my life. One child was raped by nobody else but her own father. Father is a symbol of protection for any daughter. After Allah, daughters look upon father as protection. But what if father turns to be a rapist? So that child, alhamdulillah, has been successfully rehabilitated. I am also Minister of Social Welfare, Bait al-Mal, and some other portfolios. So that she is now under custody of my Department of Social Welfare. There is a very good rehab center which I have attached with Child Health University. This consists of mental rehab, physically rehab. Me and Shazia has visited them many times. Gulshan, Nisheman, she is being looked after there. Similarly, Rizwana, who was tortured for 6 months by the mistress of that house, a judge's wife, for 6 months, and she had 13 fractures when she presented to us, pneumothorax, infection, hemoglobin was 4, nutritionally deprived, but alhamdulillah again she will be shifted to our setup in social welfare complex inshallah tomorrow. So we are trying to rehabilitate them. So these are few which came to our attention. I'm sure there are thousands out there. We have failed so far to address the child labor. I think 80% of the maids in our houses are young girls I think the first and the foremost, it's the duty of the parents, but they make them money-making machines and send them as domestic servants at the age of 10 or 9. And then they don't even call them back. They just want easy paisa every month. This is a blatant example where Rizwana was tortured for 6 months. She has fractures which were 6 months old, many. And nobody even, they were getting the money, 10,000 rupees every month to Sargodha, but they never called or visited to find out the well-being till 6 months. So this is something which highlights how important the child right movements will be. I am for it. Also I think just now Jamal Raza talked about how we can collaborate, and also I think it was also talked about that your organization should be given central stage by Nasir Rana. I just want to share that in school health screening, we have a committee who is going to make sure about the implementation. Of course, it's a law, it will be law that nobody will be able to appear in 9th exam without undergoing this screening. I had loads of resistance from law department. They said, you can't do it because health is a fundamental, education is a fundamental right of everybody. How can you just stop the education? I said, I'm not stopping it. And also I think health is a fundamental right of everybody. So we will get through the bureaucracy, but then this committee, and it has member, president or nominee of president of PPA. So I strongly believe that in a resource-stricken country like Pakistan, we all need to work together. Whichever organization is, I myself president of Pakistan Society of Internal Medicine, founding president of PSIM. We are having our, next weekend we are having our midsummer meeting in Bourbon. You are most welcome. Half of the conference is about pediatrics. Half of the conference is about medical writing, about research, which is common to everybody. I will strongly urge the PPA to join hands with us in PAMS. PAMS is Pakistan Association of Medical Societies. The idea is, we all know that there is acute dearth of leadership in health sector in Pakistan. We don't look, as government, we don't look at being threatened by these organizations or associations when they get together. I feel they help us. They really help us to achieve our goals of good health. So in PAMS, already Pakistan Cardiac Society, it was started by myself at PSIM, which is Pakistan Society of Internal Medicine, but then later on Pakistan Cardiac Society, Pakistan Endocrine Society, they all joined. So I will urge you, we are soon going to have a meeting where we will elect our leadership for 2 years. So we will be very glad to have you, because there are many common things that, like medical writing, medical journalism, things like that, affecting both us and research on medical research and so on. At the end, I was asked about the referral system. When I was Vice Chancellor in Islamabad, head of the PIMS, of course there is a large children's hospital there in PIMS also, which was my responsibility. And then when I was Vice Chancellor, I started a referral system. Believe me, you don't have to wait for the government. If Children's Hospital wants to come up with a referral system, should propose one. When I was principal in Allama Iqbal Medical College, I started this project of adopted district, and we adopted Saiwal and also Okada. And believe me, it became so, unfortunately, when I moved away from there to Islamabad, the whole thing was not properly followed. But still, I think as a Vice Chancellor, UHSS Gujranwale is our constituent medical college and constituent division. So we started this for 1 year. We did wonderfully well with the referral system. All the ambulances were tagged, all the ventilators were tagged. So if somebody needed one ventilator, he need not go to 5 hospitals and then find a ventilator. It is available on the portal, whether it's already occupied or out of order or whatever. Similarly with burns bed, everything was tagged. So if PPA is really serious, please present us with your project. We will approve it, I think, within a week. We are already working on it. We are working on this referral system for the last now 3 months. So your input will add to it. So at the end, I'm all for referral system, and I'll make sure that it gets legislated and it gets all the support. Just join hands with us, whether we are another society like PSIM or we are a government. Let's together make Pakistan what it was initially envisioned by our leaders, whether it was Qaid, whether it was Allama Iqbal. Let's move this Pakistan to be a much healthier Pakistan, much safer Pakistan for our children and for all of us. So at the end, I congratulate again PPA for holding such a good international conference. I welcome all the international speakers, and I hope we can all learn from each other, and I hope it is going to be a wonderful experience for the next 2 days. To all of you, very educative symposium, very good scientific program, and I hope all of you have time to look at this cultural capital of Pakistan. So I wish this conference all the success.